what will we draw from today's Inkblot? So the last few random ink drawings I've done, number 3 and 4, I experimented with doing something a little bit different and planning at least parts of it. So one where I just had planned to do something simple and maybe use some text on it, and one where I had planned to do it from a photo. But this time I just wanted to go back to the basics and just see what I find. And it might be silly, it might be a monster, it might be something serious. I don't know, because I haven't found it yet. Looking at this blot. There's a lot of different potentials here, of course, as there always are. But I'm liking... Ooh, there are 2 eyes there. That's interesting. But then what the hell is going off on the top here? Maybe if I take one eye away. Then maybe this starts looking like snout. There is a lot of thinking on the fly here. And I'm also conscious to... First of all, I'm conscious to try to talk through this whole ordeal and explain at least a little bit of what I'm doing. Or, so I started drawing a troll nose, and then I went, no, I don't want to do a troll. Why not just make more ink blots? Okay, now we have a lot more potential, a lot more to think about, and not necessarily getting closer to any answer. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Now it's starting to become sort of a face. Down here. Okay. Let's work on that face for a little while, and maybe we'll abandon it. This time the drawing will apparently be very dark, and doing darkness is one of the it will be dark when you're doing something from random black and white ink blots. I'm seeing the face starting to appear. And what I want to do with my line work now is to have it be consistently messed up and loose and squiggly with the ink blots. So I want to keep the energy of the ink. Okay. And whether I'm doing a silly drawing or a monster or something mythological or something based on a photo, what I'm always looking for is the same. I'm looking for something that resonates with me. Something where I see a bit of myself in it. Just a tiny bit, something sympathetic, whether it is in the stupidity and the silliness, or it is in... Yeah, let's try to change this up a little bit. So this is a very dark face. What happens if we give it something of a stupid smile? A little bit too wide open smile and a toothless or barely toothed grin. A little bit higher here. Okay. I'll Ooh. I'm starting to see a picture. But I need more dabbing of ink because I want 3 different faces. And then I want much more of this randomness up here. So what I'm seeing now is something that reminds me of the feeling of being laughed at. And these faces are, in a sense, laughing at me. Like in Carrie, they're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you, as the poet says. And I want the laughing faces to dissolve into white from black. And then I will probably so they're smiling, but not a happy picture, so they're grinning. Awful. Makes me feel awful. That's and that's one of the worst feelings, because I'll do anything for a laugh. One of my ways of coping with being what I recognize now as being neurodivergent, being a child with autism and ADHD that wasn't recognized and that was just in school and was a problem child. One of the things that I remember is I loved doing things for laughter, and I would do things that would be self-destructive for laughter. Like I started in a new class, and I knew I had big ears. So first thing I said as I came into the new class at school was, "I'm an ear ape," and people laughed. And that was a way of having control. That was a way of preempting that they would laugh at me without my control. So I loved, right or wrong, I loved the feeling of making people laugh. But it was a protection from having people laugh at me. I had to preemptively make them laugh at me, because then I was in control. Then I was in charge. I wasn't the butt of the joke. I was the joke and the joker. And yeah, so the horror of, and for me, it really depends. Now, if I do something physically comedic unintentionally, like walk into a glass door or fell flat on my face, I want the laughter from that somehow. That's just in my brain. I'm just triggered to want the world to laugh at me at that point. But if I do something emotionally or intellectually that people laugh at, that is uncomfortable. If I didn't intend it, if I didn't trigger it intentionally, that is just the worst. Because in that moment, I'm worthless, I guess. I'm the butt of the joke. I don't know. I'm sort of... You know what? I thought that I would want these strange shapes on top. But looking at it now, I actually want the top to just be black. Maybe. Or almost black. Ooh. Look, there's a face coming. There's another face. Maybe a face. I'm looking back at the screen because for some stupid reason I have the computer screen behind me, and I liked the face. I don't like the face. I like keeping some of that mysterious texture there. Maybe not. Maybe not. These are the difficult decisions you have to make when improvising a work, when finding the meaning in the work as you are working on it. When working on planned pieces, that you have all those questions settled often long before you start the final piece. You have sketches upon sketches, and you've done the research, and you know what you're trying to say. But with work like this, no. Okay. Okay. So adding some random ink splatters to loosen, and this is kind of loose already, but it needs to be a little bit looser. And then I should really have some white ink here, because then I could okay. What to do. Let's see. So we're going to dry off the top areas, and then we are going to take, because I don't have any white ink by the table right now, because I didn't plan this, I'm going to use a Posca marker, which has acrylic in it, and I'm going to try to overflow it a little bit, and it needs to be shaken a lot more. Shakety, 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 shake. I love the Posca markers, but they do need quite a bit of shaking often. Okay, now I can getting. So now I'll. Oh, perfect. That really does it. Okay, let's overload it a little bit more. Oh, ho, 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 ho. That's the whole difference. What the white dots on the black ink do is they sort of make you question how the image has been made. So, yeah, I'm very happy with this one. So happy that I forgot to mention that I'm doing a course called Mastering Ink Through Negative Space. Ooh, almost tore the paper there. That's okay. That's no problem. That's a part of the art. And you can join the waiting list for that course if you want to know more about what I do, the technical stuff, all the hidden stuff that I can't talk about in this video because this video is too short. And if you want to learn how I do art like this, how I do the heavy metal concert art, how I do the silly ink monsters, how I do all of this stuff, then Mastering Ink Through Negative Space is my best attempt at doing that. I'm going to call this image The Joke. And that is random ink drawing 005, and now it's signed. So you can join the waiting list for my course, and you can get all the information about the course there and the info about when it will be released, and you can also get some percentages off. If you like my art, then I release all my art for free use under a Creative Commons attribution license. So if you think that's cool, please support my art by going to denungeherrholm.com and buying some originals or some prints. If you don't have the money to buy them, then yeah, download them and print them yourself. That's not just allowed, it is encouraged. And if you think all that's cool, then support on patreon.com/KimHolm. That was a lot of calls to action, as we say in the YouTube language, but you have to do that shit. It's not the shit you want to do as an artist. It's not to sell your course and your Patreon and to plug all these things, but you have to do it because that's how the money comes in, and that's how we survive, and that's how we make it to another day where we will draw another random ink drawing. Thank you for watching.